Yes, Zaga, Yaga. You know the vibes. You rocking out with yours truly. Show time sizzle. I am the sauce. I am the sauce, man. We're gonna get to it this tonight. A little late start. Normally, I like to be done by now, as far as with all of the internet shenanigans, But nonetheless, better late than never. Let's see what pick I want to use tonight. How about this one? We'll go with this one tonight. But yes, good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me check my levels before I proceed. I wanna discuss the great civil war that is going on tonight, amongst other things. I also want to discuss the women's are doing their thing, man. The pressers was today, the final pressers. Wilder's in Brooklyn. Shout out to Anthony Dog Durrell. He kind of carried it, I thought. But like I said, I'm covering this fight from a distance. Because, like I said, the previous Wilder fights that I have covered, and I like the fact how they highlighted that today, right? They're watching, they're listening, they are spying, like as always. That Wilder and Helenius don't really have any bad blood. So the build-up to this fight is not really, I can speak on it because, like I said, I have covered countless Wilder fights, the Ben Stavern, bad blood. You couldn't wait for fight night. Dominic Brazil, bad blood. You couldn't wait for fight night. King Kong Ortiz, there wasn't bad blood, but you knew King Kong. And that fight was what it was. He was ready for his moment. He was close, almost there. This fight right here just doesn't have it for me. It just doesn't have it for me. Like I said, though, I did support and watch the press conference today. I like Anthony Durrell. Him and Caleb Plant still going back and forth. But I still feel like that fight has the potential to be the fight of the night. But what I want to address is, I'm going to start it off with this. We all know YouTubers, bloggers, boxing channels, right? The past couple of weeks, the whole 65-35 Terrence Crawford thing has been the hot topic of conversation amongst many channels. One of the biggest channels, I'm not going to refer to names because you guys that are fluent with this pretty much know who I'm speaking on. But he had an encounter at a convenience store with one of the pound-for-pound top guys, and he came out with his story, right? Now, another channel has come out and said that a family member has debunked the whole 65-35 thing. So we need answers. Who's really telling the truth now with this whole YouTube shit? Like who's pulling the wool over our eyes, and who's telling the truth, man? We need answers, man. Who's really lying? And when I look at the two gentlemen, right, that the first gentleman that came with it, right? With his story, I kind of questioned his story because, like I said, I was covering the fights that week, and some of the stuff that he mentioned in regards to the location of the place, I was like, I don't know, right? But he swore up and down. But now, like I said, another channel has come out and said that. But it's like with these guys, right? Both of them, neither one of them really have concrete receipts. They joke, man. That's what I said. When it comes to this YouTube shit, man, and sources and information, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, man. Salute to Big Bunsen Boxing in the building. You gotta take it with a grain of salt, right? But nonetheless, we need answers, man. Who's lying? Is the snotty nosed Roscoe guy lying, or is the OG lying? Who's lying on this, man? We need answers on that, man. You know, we need answers because it's like, was that a subliminal diss at the OG? You know, was that a subliminal diss to discredit his whole claim? Because that was big on the YTC scene the past couple of weeks. You know, 65-35. We need answers though, man. I'm not gonna stay too much on that topic, but we need answers, man. Who's telling the truth now, man? And who's lying, man? If you caught my live earlier when I was heading into the plantation and I spoke on AB, that is trending right now, man. Salute to all the channels that are discussing that and talking on that, and salute to all the channels that are in denial. You know, I noticed, like, whenever it comes to the mighty PBC and it's kind of the financial situation comes up and things are brought up about the finances and shit like that, a lot of these pro PBC channels, they get into denial. You know, they don't want to talk boxing no more, you know. But yes, that has been trending with AB going live with his homie and saying that pretty soon they will be fighting on Twitter, man, and Showtime. And see, hey, what do I know? Check the catalog. I might have to revisit that video. Remember, I did a live, man, and I said, is Showtime boxing the new HBO? So you got to pay attention, man, to these little channels, man. The little channels may have just a little bit of insight, man. But you know what it is, right? You have so many channels that are bigger, quote unquote, that hate the little channels for whatever reason. You know, they hate on the little channels because they feel like the little channels aren't noticed. But in the big scheme of things, the little channels are the ones that's really noticed. Hopefully that source didn't go over your head. But shout out to Coach Malachi. He had an excellent live on this today. And he was pretty much, see, guys like that are very witty, and you know, if you really watch his live, it was very informative. He gave you guys a lot of key information, especially in regards to you know, and people that work or you are in any type of corporation field, and a new regime takes over, they are always going to shake shit up. They're going to bring in their people. They're going to promote their people. That's just business. That's just how it goes. So when Coach Malachi was breaking that down, very, very informative today. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Combat Said, who is? Great question. Yeah, who's lying, man? Who's lying, man? You know, who's lying, man? We need answers, man. You know? I just think, like I said, Roscoe, I'm just going to call guys by code names tonight because I don't want to offend anyone. But I think Roscoe was just jealous, right? Because Roscoe and the OG are pretty much the same type of characters, right? They are great at what they do at telling stories, National Enquiry type stories. Their facts are never really their facts are always like no receipts. I want to say that's the word, the terminology that is very used a lot on the YouTube, right? their stories, right? Although you want like, but you have a lot of people out here that believe and listen to anything. But sometimes when you put out certain National Enquiry stories, you need a receipt, man. You need some type of hard evidence. You know, you gotta have evidence, man. You know, innocent until proven guilty. With these stories, it's like, what's really the facts? Who's telling the truth now? Because Travion Crawford is his nephew. And if he says that it's not true, right? And I seen the OG was making faces last night when they was bringing it up in his chat, right? He was like, he's kind of, if we're going off of body language, he was kind of like, yo, the jig is up, but I don't know, man. I just don't know, man. I'm just entertained by it all, though, man. Hopefully we'll get more information on this, man. But when the truth does finally come to the light, right? It's YouTubers, bloggers, fellow channels gonna hold somebody accountable for the lies, man. For the lies, man. I know it's all fun and games, but listen, at the end of the day, man, the truth, man, because there's so many people that come to YouTube. This is truth right here. You have so many people, right, that are deaf, dumb, and blind, and they come to YouTube for information. They come for information. So we really need to get to the bottom of that, man. You know, we definitely need to get to the bottom of that. Big Blunt said that's wild. It is, man. Yo, I was watching it last night. I was like, yo, man, damn, is this true? Man, for real, man. For real. Yo, right. The look that he had on his face. Yo, they kept bringing it up in his chat, man. They kept bringing it up, right? They just kept bringing it up in his chat. And I was like, uh-oh, man, it's getting but you know, it came from Roscoe, and him and Roscoe was mans, man. You know, Roscoe from Martin. You know what I'm saying? Roscoe was his man, man. So I was just like, damn. But you see, that's what happens. Like, one thing about certain YouTube channels, right? Especially the channels that are like, they're like YouTube is their life. When I tell you like YouTube is their life, I mean like they're not at fights, right? They don't cover no events. They're all the way into YouTube, man. They're just into it. So I know Roscoe is a heavy Earl Spence mate, right? Now he might have been taking some type of offense because the OG, right? I'm just call him Percy the OG, right? Percy the OG. You know, he's kind of switching sides, man. It's like before he was a basher. It was always one way, and now he's come out. It's kind of like he jumped ship. So we just got to see where this goes, man. Knowing them, they'll probably try to hash it out behind the scenes, but in all actuality, guys like that, like I said, man, and this is no shot at them, but guys like them, right? They don't really live by a code. I'm just being honest with you. It shows, man. Because when you live by a code or principles and things of that nature, you tend to carry yourself a little different. You just do, man. Like a lot of these YouTubers, grown men, very messy. Very, very messy. And I'm only speaking on that because, like I said, the media guys, like I know a lot of different media guys. Like, salute to my man. I highlighted him, right? YSM Sports Media. I reached out to him yesterday because I was caught up in traffic. I seen he was on deck. I was like, yo, whoopty whoop, whoopty whoop. This is what real brothers do. This is what real brothers do, right? He ran interference for me. He looked out for me, and I told him when I post certain stuff, I'm definitely gonna give you your flowers because that's what real brothers do, right? But as far as like the YouTubers, right, they're very messy, very messy, very territorial over YouTube. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe my channel's monetized now too. Maybe I'll start getting like that. But I don't know. I do other things too, man. So I can't. I think a lot of guys, when it comes to YouTube, this is their major source of income. And anytime, and you have a lot of guys on here with that mentality to get rich fast scheme. They're going to get rich off of YouTube. I don't know, man. There's other ways to get rich if you're really trying to get rich. Be more creative, you know? If you think about it, right, and some of these channels that people look up to that you think are getting rich, are they Jake Paul status? Like, listen, to me, when it comes to YouTube and going from a YouTuber, blogger, content creator to big dog status, it got to be the Paul brothers, man. Like, if you're not doing it like that, it's really not worth it for me. Like, this is the guy. He went from being a content creator, YouTuber, to a pay-per-view fighter, and not for nothing, Showtime is investing more in him in pay-per-views than some of their current fighters, and that's no shade. These are just, I'm going off of the information, right? His pay-per-view fight, I covered it when he was going to fight Hasim Rahman at Madison Square Garden. For whatever reasons, you know, because I didn't do a lot of research on it, the fight got canceled. But yet he has another date with Anderson Silva, and it's coming up this month. So, and I want to say this. I guess he is more lucrative than some of these fighters that the narrative has been placed on that are the big draw. You know? Because Steven Espinoza, Showtime Boxing, they're willing to put up the bag for this guy. Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense tonight, man? You know, this is all tying into the Civil War. It's all tied into the Civil War, right? Because, like I just stated, the major outcry was always that one guy did all the heavy lifting. He brings everything to the table. But now catch the Civil War source. He brings everything to the table, right? But yet they don't want to put the bill up for him to have a table and a dinner partner. But yet the YouTuber, Jake Paul, the content creator, has a dance partner and he has a date once again. So I guess the fight isn't really that lucrative. So that whole narrative, the biggest fight in boxing, this doesn't quite live up to it, man, if it makes any sense, man. Yo, Big Blunts is kind of writers on the wall. The writers on the wall. The dude from Paramount Pictures stepped down. There's gonna be a lot of shaking up going on in a second, man. A lot of shaking up going on in a second. And if you think about it, like Wilder's fighting on Fox, this underneath the Fox pay-per-view on, bro, not Showtime. And Wilder fought on Showtime many times, man. Many times. And I was discussing this with a colleague today, right? When it comes to pay-per-view draws over there, Wilder's the man. I guess that's why Fox is still doing the pay-per-view things with him. You know, Wilder, last time that I checked, and you can look it up yourself. See, certain nights I pull up the receipts. I'll show y'all the numbers. The other times, I want you guys to hunt for yourself, fish for yourself. Because if somebody always feeds you, you'll never know how to feed yourself. You gotta learn how to hunt. If I could teach you how to hunt, you'll never starve because you know how to get your plate. So, like I said, last time that I checked, their pay-per-view king is Wilder. Wilder's lowest pay-per-view number with Tyson Fury is higher than the other guy over there that they claim is the biggest seller. Check it out for yourself. Just check it out for yourself, right? So I guess that's why Fox is still pushing the Bomb Squad brand. But Showtime, on the other hand, putting money up behind YouTubers. Putting the money up behind YouTubers. See, these are the facts. And these is when I say facts, right? These are the facts. These are the facts. When is the date? November 19th, December, January. Jake Paul's October 26th, right? That's the date. Those are facts. So somebody over there had to feel like that fight was lucrative to make, because in the sport of boxing, you're not going to put out a pay-per-view fight if you don't think you're going to make any money. Make any money, right? Does that make any sense, man? But let's get off of that, because I don't want people to say, "Oh, you pocket watching." No, I'm just trying to give you guys some actual insight and let you guys pay attention, man. Because like I said, a lot of YouTubers, they just in the way. You don't pay attention, because if you pay attention, a lot of the information you get off of YouTube and you will see for yourself without even doing research. It's like, yo, this shit don't add up. It's not adding up. It doesn't make any sense. But let's move on, man. I want to talk about and I got to bring up my coaching buddy, right? Me and my coach buddy we was talking about this, and then sure enough, it popped off. He was like, yo, Alicia Bumgarner, typical old school coach. He like, yo, she's smiling too much, man. You about to be in a fight. What the hell you smiling for, right? Sure enough, they have the face off, right? Michaela Miller goes, yo, why you smiling? You know what I'm saying? Why you smiling? She's like, oh, you're mad? Like, no, you're about to be in a fight, man. Get your mentality right. But I'm just loving their energy. I'm loving their energy, and I'm seeing others are getting on to that wave, talking more about the women's fight. That's going to be a great fight, man. And that fight is on early in the day. And I said that was going to be the fight, man. Michaela and Alicia Bumgarner. You know? Alicia Bumgarner, man. Can't wait, man. They both look good, too, man. They both look like they're on weight. They're just ready. Tomorrow's the day they touch the scales, man. That's one of the best days for fighters. If you know, you know, man. Once they hit that scale, you know? Once they hit that scale. The PBC weigh-in is starting early tomorrow at 11 a.m. They're not playing. That's an early weigh-in, man. They're trying to get those guys on the scales early and let them rehydrate and get to eating. But that's what you want, man. You want to eat, rest, because that's where you're going to get that weight back on. You eat good, rest, drink up, and rest, and before you know it, Saturday's here. It's showtime, right? It's showtime. But let me get to another topic. Devin Haney as well. You know, he's up. I just think they dropped the ball on his. Like they, you know, it is. I guess they're in a whole nother time zone, and it's kind of hard because aren't they like a day ahead of us? Some crazy type ish, you know, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But I know the girls. I'm excited to see the girls Saturday night, man. That's a. We finally get that, because remember we were supposed to get that, and rest in peace to the Queen, man. The Queen passed away, man. So we never really got to see them go, man. We never got to see them go, man. But I would have loved for it to pop off when it was supposed to. But like I said, everybody looks like they're on par. You know, just a couple extra weeks and 2 days out, man. 2 days out. Yeah, I think they did do Devin dirty. That's a fact. But I think they did Devin dirty. They're proving a point, man. If you know, I don't like speaking on a lot of stuff no more, because I just let it play out. And when a lot of stuff that I spoke on years back plays out, I just give myself a pat on the back. I just put another stripe on my uniform. And I'll put another stripe on my uniform. That's why I'm sitting back and I'm enjoying this whole Showtime PBC debacle thing, because I told a lot of guys many moons ago. When I say moons, that's many years ago. I was like, a lot of stuff over there is funny duddy. Don't add up. It just don't. And it started to play out. It just like one thing about a lie, right? A lie has always have to change, but the truth will always remain the same. See, the lie over there kept changing and changing and changing. But like I said, so many people be in denial. They get caught up. They don't really want to pay attention. Please, no mention to others over here. We don't do that, Pop. That's very messy. Like I said, if you're going to speak on other people on this channel, code it up now. We don't, we're professional over here. We don't, we're not going to get into that. But appreciate the comment. You feel me? Hate the comment, because when you mention other channels and these guys feel like they're bigger than you and they're really jealous of you, they get in their feelings. You feel me? They get in their feelings. That's why I said I called the OG Percy and Roscoe. We're not gonna say no names, but I just feel like when it comes to the whole Devin Haney, George Kambosos promo, and George Kambosos not. It takes two, man. George Kambosos, the first fight leading up to that fight, it was a more of a build up, because George Kambosos was very talkative, confident, but this fight he's more, under wraps. So that kind of plays into the promotion too, because you need to you need that storyline. That storyline. Like me and WCS was chopping it today about a fight. Like I brought up my man Tony Harrison, and I was like, yo, man, they should have Tony Harrison and homeboy Cuba should have fought. I was like, yo, they're not moving right over there. Like, it was so much. They had a back story on that fight, man. Remember, he stormed Tony Harrison's press conference, and Tony Harrison jumped off the stage, almost swung on him and shit. It was like, yo, they were supposed to run with that. They were supposed to run with that, man. Like, that's build up. It's a back story for that. All right, let's get to some of these comments. Pop said they proven their point on Devin and Wilder. I agree. I definitely agree. We talked about that. We more so they're proving a point to the YouTube community and to the YouTubers. And shout out to OG. OG kind of went into that a little bit too last night when he was saying how they saying that the Spence Crawford fight ain't lucrative enough. That because if you think about it, where does all the Spence Crawford talk come from? YouTube channels, the big channels. So the industry is telling you that these big channels, the people that support these big channels aren't going to support the fight or buy the fight. That's pretty much what they were saying. And that's pretty much what OG Percy said too, man. The OG, Big Blunt said Devin and George is the most unanticipated rematch. Only reason for the rematch is contractual. The hype for this rematch would be different if the fight was close. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But like I said, it's boxing. Anything can happen in boxing. Anything can happen. We got to see what George does, what kind of adjustments he makes. If he doesn't make no adjustment, it's going to be the same one-sided pony. Like he got beat by a jab last time. He got beat by a jab. No adjustments. His corner. I don't know. He got to get this fight. Got to be more dirty. He got to get dirty. Oh, yo, I gotta share this story. I forgot to share this yesterday. Um, Funny, real funny, right? This past weekend was the Hall of Fame in Atlantic City, and a lot of guys was down there. Roberto Duran, James Toney, um, just many different old school champions and guys were down there, right? My pops was down there, and he had his man, right? His man, he knows a little bit about boxing, right? So Tim Witherspoon was doing a demonstration with a younger fighter on the pads, right? And my pop's man was like, he was trying to tell Tim Witherspoon, you know who Tim Witherspoon, former world champion, heavyweight world champion, right? So he's telling Tim Witherspoon that he's telling the young kid the wrong things on the pads. So my pops goes, yo, Tim Witherspoon brushed him so and cool with it. He said Tim Witherspoon was like, yo, was you a champion? You was world champion? He said my pop's man was like, nah. He said, yo, you fought. You was a pro though, right? He was like, nah, amateur. He said, oh, all right, and walked off. Yeah, that's how you got to do some of these YouTubers, man. And my pops told me about that yesterday. I said, yeah, you're right, Pop. That's how I got to start doing dudes, man. And shout out to WCS. WCS, you got to be on it like this too. Whenever these quote unquote big channels and guys that think because they're doing numbers or this, that, and the third, talk crazy to you or mention you, you got to have that Tim Witherspoon mentality. Like, oh, how many interviews have you done? Actual interviews. How many fight cards have you covered? Oh, okay, all right. I understand. Hopefully, y'all caught that sauce. Yes. Shout out to Andrew Charles in the building, Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee. Man, I'm excited, man, because it's like, listen, if you know anything about Fight Week, this is when the excitement kicks off. Because tomorrow's Friday, everything is done now, man. You know, some guys might be shaking off last minute pounds right now, and it's just go time, man. It's go time, man. And the PBC is not playing. Yo, their weigh-ins is at 11 o'clock. Yeah, that's like breakfast. Them dudes is gonna really get to get down, man. Normally, like you look at it, the weigh-ins be like the Shakur Stevenson one we just was at in Newark. It was supposed to start at 1. It started by about 1:45, almost 2 o'clock. So they're starting at 11 a.m. So all those guys got to really do is just wake up, make sure they good, touch them scales, and then they be all right, man. By most of those guys, like the main event guys, by 12 o'clock, they should be hydrated with getting their fluids back in their system. I got a plan, but I'm gonna put some money on Darrell because I like his odds. He's a heavy underdog. Definitely gonna put some money on Darrell, man. But I think Plant. Shout out to Larry Wade and his team. I just think Plant, he could box, man. He gonna get on his bicycle. Like Darrell knows he's gonna run, and I don't know if Darrell's gonna be able to cut off the ring, man. You know, the dog is the dog, man, but he's old, man. He got a lot of wear and tear. He's a junkyard dog right now. You know, he's a junkyard dog. I like that fight, man. Those are the two fights that I like on that card is Antonio and Rodriguez, Russell and Rodriguez, and Plant and Darrell. Like I said, if I was to attend, those would be the two fights that I would want to see. Like Wilder, I wanna remember Wilder at the Barclays, how I remember him. The vicious killer. Wilder was a killer. Or the four, I don't want to say the dude's name wrong. He got a weird name. But all the four Wilder fights that I covered that I went to, Wilder was just vicious. He was just different. You know, this one he's fighting a guy that, they got too much respect for one another, man. You know, but shout out to everybody that's going to the fights, man. It should be a great event, man. One thing about Brooklyn and the Barclays Center, they're gonna come out, man. Especially Brooklyn. Brooklyn is real thirsty because, like I said, Brooklyn really been having too many fight cards. The last real major fight card, other than Danny and Jose, was the Tank Davis, and that shit was mayhem. It was mayhem. It was more fighting in the crowd. Now he's the opening. That's good money, Pop. He's the opening bout on a pay-per-view card. It don't get no bigger than that, man. That's a good look for him, man. Especially coming from where they came from and how if you know the history of how the brother Big Gang fighting once a year. So now to see his younger brothers getting a push now, you know? And that's that, yo. Rodriguez said he's gonna stop Antonio. Antonio might stop him. You know, I can't wait to watch that fight, man. Like I said, if I was going to go, that would probably be the fight that I would go for. And then the other ones, it's like, yo, do I want to stick around all the way to the co-main event? They got what's his name? I'm telling you, it's gonna be a nice crowd there because Vito Middlecki is on the undercard. He sells tickets, bro. He's gonna have half of the Italian from Jersey's in there. He headlined the card, his own card, Christmas night in at the Prudential Center. So he brings the crowd in too, and he's in the prelims. Antonio's on the main card. He's the opening pay-per-view bout. I'm gonna link up with them tomorrow, man. I can't wait to go kick it with the guys, man. Nah, man, I ain't gotta worry about being caught in traffic or nothing, man. You know, one thing, if you know about downtown Brooklyn, right, and driving, you know, sometimes you like to take the train, right? But all the time taking the train and where the hotel is from the train station, that's like a hike. It's a decent walk. You know, now maybe if they was at the Sheridan is like right there. You know, you don't mind because it's like what's your Barclays Center, Atlantic Terminal. The Sheridan ain't that far of a walk, but the hotel that they staying at for this fight, it's a little decent walk. So the drive is the best, but for the fights, man, take the train, man. You ain't got to worry about catching the DWI for those that drink. He said y'all gonna meet up at, I don't know, man. Yo, that whole what's the name is part of the Civil War, man. Because sources have come out and said, but both of these guys' stories don't have no real concrete receipts. Because Roscoe stated that the nephew said that everything is a lie as far as the 65-35. So who's telling the truth, man? That's these YouTubers for you, man. That's the National Enquiry guys. You know, that's why I said sometimes it's just best to be professional. Fuck, don't worry about the views. I didn't want to curse. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about the viewership. Get the content, the catalog up. When you get your catalog up, right, everything else falls into place. You know what I'm saying? Everything else falls into place. I had an interview set up tonight, but I'll probably do that interview. Like I said, I had to reach out and I said I'd rather do the interview once my Facebook group and all that is back up and running. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we'll hold off on that right now. Because the interview that I was going to conduct tonight had nothing to do with boxing. Because I got a couple in the catalog that I didn't release. I got a banging one with a former reality TV star, and I think I'm gonna release that now pretty soon because, like I said, the channel is monetized now. And salute to all my advisors and elders that put me onto that. Like, yo, you shouldn't put certain content out till your channel is monetized. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I never looked at it like that because I don't. Like I said, man, YouTube, if I get a couple coins off of YouTube, that's not my major source. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these guys that like, yo, the only way I can go hard for YouTube if they tell me they're gonna give me the Jake Paul Logan Paul deal. Then I'm heading. I'm heading for it. Like, yo, I'm with it. I'm with it. But if I'm just one of these guys, I got to do 5 and 7, 10 videos to try to make money off of YouTube. I'm good. No. I don't need it. I don't need it, man. It's not lucrative enough. The industry already told y'all that, man. Some of these most influential channels, it's not lucrative enough. They talked about the biggest fight in boxing for so long that it's not lucrative enough. So that should just tell you about YouTube. Well, give me the Jake Paul deal. I'm with the Paul brothers, man. If they tell me I can get a Jake Paul, Logan Paul contract, I'm with it. But if I can't get that type of contract, nah, I'm good. I'll just do what I do, cover the fights that I want to cover. Like I said, next week, Friday, Atlantic City, Bally's Club. You know, another Source experience on deck. You know, professional fight card business. Shout out to DeBella Entertainment. You know, we are working. You know, we are working, man. I'm just reading something. Ring, out the bathroom. Out the bathroom. You're not doing nothing in there. Yeah, okay. I understand that. I understand that. Yes, we have football on tonight, man. I'm trying to give y'all the hour. You know how I do. I give y'all 1 hour. Shout out to D-Ray in the building. A little late to the party. What's going on, D-Ray? You just over here fishing? You just fishing tonight, D-Ray? You're just fishing, huh? But salute to you for stopping through, man. Appreciate you, my guy. You know, appreciate you. But yes, before I close out, right, I want to say this, right? There's no shortcuts to success. No shortcuts. None. And this ties in with the Civil War. In order to come up the ranks in life, in the battlefields, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. And when you put in the work, your stripes on your uniform will show that. See, a lot of guys don't have stripes. YouTube is not going to get you stripes. It's not. It's not. And the industry is telling us that. They're telling us that. That's why when it comes to the quote-unquote biggest fight in boxing, there's no deal to be made. It's not lucrative enough. And I was talking to a reliable guy, and he said it a while ago, and we was in conversations about it, and I was like, yo, you was dead spot on. You was dead spot on. And I was like, I was always saying it too. I was like, see, these guys, the wrong people, were talking about the fight over and over and over. Over and over and over. A million thumbnails over and over and over. It just oversaturated it to the point where the industry doesn't want to put the bread up. And that's crazy, yo. That's crazy. That's crazy. So a lot of the narratives that we have been getting from both sides, pro Spence side, pro Crawford side, have been false, man. Have been false. You know? It has been false, man. You know, but like I said, hopefully they strike a deal. Like, there's another topic I want to touch on, but I got to do a little bit more research on it. And if that is the case, like I've seen a couple videos on it already, if that's going to be the play that they're going to do to Showtime, man, it's going to get real interesting and weird over there, man. It's going to get real interesting and weird, man. I'm telling you. It's going to get real interesting and weird. Because, like I said, check out Coach Malachi's New Media USA. Hopefully I said that right, man. His channel. He went in He broke it down. The game is going over the streaming, man. Everything is being streamed. I wonder how many people are gonna stream that pay-per-view Saturday night. Mark my word, when the numbers come back and they're not as big, watch how a lot of these channels, these pro Wilder channels, these pro channels that claim they promote and do stuff for the fighters, watch how they switch the narrative up that the reason why the pay-per-views bomb is because all of their illegal streams. Get ready for it, man. Just get ready for it, man. You know, get ready for that. Because that's definitely going to be yes, man. Back to what I was saying. The streams, right? They're gonna say, I'm telling you right now. So just say, I'm just throwing a number out there. Just say Wilder and Helenius do 350, right? 350, right? 350. They're gonna be like, yo, he should have did $1 million. He should have 700, but 350,000 people illegally streamed it. Yeah. Trust and believe. That's gonna be the narrative, man. But why wasn't that the narrative for Canelo, man? Canelo did, listen. Canelo did 500,000, and they say he flopped, right? That's why you gotta pay attention to these dudes, man, on YouTube, man. All they do is they just push agendas. Yo, Canelo did 500,000, and he flopped. The only PBC fighter to do those type of numbers is Wilder, over 500,000, 500 or better. It's Wilder, Thurman and Pacquiao, Wilder and Fury. The rest of them don't even come close. But that's a flop. But when these guys over there do 2.25, 350, 325, they're stars. Come on, man. We got to make it make sense. See, this is the Civil War. Those of us that are awoken, we're not into that, man. We see the gibberish. We see the agendas being pushed, and we're at the fights, man. We're talking to the suits. That's what they like to call them, right? The suits. The guys that, make it happen. The suits. So when the suits tell you, nah, he doesn't sell like that. But you be like, that's why, listen, anytime I hear a suit say something and they say something to me or I talk to them, I don't never say, but yo, such and such on YouTube said, you know how many people will tell you something about something that somebody says on YouTube? Yo, but what's the name said on YouTube? That's one of the biggest turnoffs to a suit, man. If you ever are in a room with a suit and you want to make an impression, don't never say what you heard about on YouTube. Especially if it's from a channel that is known to be a gossip girl. It's known to be a gibberish channel. They will look at you and just shake their head like, no wonder he doesn't get it. Hopefully y'all caught that sauce, man. Like I said, man, we're going to tap out. I'm about to enjoy these football games. It's Thursday night. I'm going to get to Coach Reed. Coach Reed, come on, Coach Reed. Close us out like you always do. Yes, Andrew, streaming is king now. That's correct. That is correct. Streaming is king now. It's not going to stop people who stream one fight, stream them all. What I say, that's what they do. Rick Glacier said, motherfucker, I stole it. No. That's not for you. That's not for you. But yeah, salute to the chat, man. D-Ray Pop, WCS, Big Blunts, Andrew Charles, D-Ray Promotions. You know the vibes. Zaga.
Yaga. You know what time it is.
I holla.
I holla.